Hello, this is Nathan with UnitConnect.com, the online property management software. In this tutorial, I will be covering how to create a new user for your organization. So to start, I have already logged in to the main dashboard on UnitConnect, and I'm going to go to the Admin tab in the menu on the far right-hand screen. Once I have arrived to the Admin screen, I'm going to toggle the User Management tab. Once I've toggled the user management, you'll see that I have 4 different options, including manage users, manage roles, new user wizard, and new role wizard. The next step is to click on go under new user wizard. All right, now the new user wizard has loaded. Please note that we have 3 tabs at the top: user details, data access, roles, and permissions. And so we'll be working through each of these 3 tabs here in this tutorial. One of the first options is to toggle either active or inactive, which basically allows you to inactivate a user at any time. Also, if a user gets locked out of their account from too many login attempts, you can unlock or lock them by toggling these options right here. The first thing that we need to do for creating a new user is creating a new username, and this needs to be in the form of an email address. So I'm going to use the email address testing@unitconnect.com, and our temporary password is 12345. When creating an actual password, obviously you want it to be much more complex, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm keeping things simple. And I'm just going to add my name, first and last name. Also, please note that all of the fields that have a red asterisk are required, and any field that does not have a red asterisk is not required. Therefore, I'm going to omit our address and phone information. The next option is to toggle or check mark the option to model user permissions. And this option is if you want to copy an existing user that you have created within UnitConnect. Now, for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to leave this off so that I can show you what options are available. So I'm going to go ahead and click the next screen. All right, so now we have the data access. And so this basically is the options to give this user the access that you want them to have. And so we can see that for data access, we can choose to select all, so they have access to all properties, or we can select by property. There's also the ability to select by portfolio. And so for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to give access to all, but we can see that if we wanted this user to only access a certain property, we can do that by toggling on and off the enabled and disabled options. But again, I'm going to give access to all properties. All right, I'm going to scroll to the bottom and click Next. All right, so now we're here on the Role and Permissions tab. And we can see, if I scroll down here a bit further, that we have a drop-down menu. So we have 4 pre-configured roles within UnitConnect: Administrator, Assistant, Investor, and Property Manager. Now these default settings can be administered under the Admin tab here at the top of the UnitConnect menu. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I just want to briefly go over these so that you are aware that they exist and what they basically mean. So for each of these different roles, there are pre-configured default settings, as I had already mentioned, and those can be changed or configured for each unique user that you create. So that basically means that if you have someone within your organization or within your business that you want to be able to access only certain things and not other things, then those settings can all be configured here when you create a new user, and can also be edited at a later point in time. So just so you're familiar or understand the functionality of these options, we basically have several tabs here at the top, which are different areas of the UnitConnect software platform that a user can access. So we have administration, banking, billing, communication, leaseholders, properties, reports, and vendors. And we can see that we have different options within each of these tabs. So for example, under administration, we can see view admin page. We can either have that enabled or disabled. And so we can see that for the administrator role, the default role settings is that they have access to all of this information, because as an administrator, you want to be able to access all parts of UnitConnect. But for example, if you have someone who's an assistant within your business, then you may not want them to be able to access certain information within the administration tab in the software. So that's why this information has been disabled for this particular user. So basically, you just need to understand that all of this information that this user has access to can be changed, and can be changed after the user is created. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Finish for the purpose of this tutorial, and this new user is going to be under the assistant role and have the default settings associated with this role. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and click Finish. Are you sure you want to proceed? Yes. All right, now we have successfully created a new user wizard. And so to verify that this person has been added, I can go to my admin. Now I'm going to go ahead and go down to our user management tab, and I'm going to click on Manage Users. All right, now that we're here in the Manage Users section, we can see that our testing@unitconnect.com email address, which is associated with myself, has been created. And if I go ahead and click on this user, and then go ahead to the left-hand side and click on User Details, now we can see all of the information that we had added for this user, and we can also see our data access. We can see that this user has access to all the properties, and we can also see our roles and permissions, and we can see that which roles and permissions this user has access to. And we can also make changes after the user has been created. All right, so that completes this tutorial. I hope that you found it helpful and informative. Please be sure to check out other videos on our YouTube channel, and as well as updates for new content for how to better leverage UnitConnect. Again, my name is Nathan. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.